Hi guys, how are you? I'm just driving to my appointment. Listen, I want to talk to you guys about something. It's very, very important. I spoke to God about it already. He confirmed it to me that it's okay. And it's very important, and it's going to help a lot of people that are in the same boat I'm in. You know what I mean? Not everybody can walk in the same shoes you have. Not everybody can, be in the same boat that you're in. Everyone's purpose is different. Everyone's obstacle is different. Some of our obstacles are so big, like people would think it's fake. They wouldn't think it's real. I told you guys in the past that a lot of people, they're not going to accept your testimony because your testimony seems unrealistic. Your testimony seems like something that you'd see in a movie, a book, a TV show, a sequel. But there's people out here really living hardcore testimonies like David, hardcore testimonies like Elijah, hardcore testimonies, like Job, like Paul. There's people actually living these testimonies. So I'm gonna start off by saying this. Some of you guys, this may be very sensitive, so if it doesn't resonate with you, I'm gonna say this: don't disrespect those who this resonates with. Just because you're not experiencing something in your life don't mean other people are not experiencing it. You gotta respect everyone's walk of life. That's another form of being humble, is respecting another person's walk of life, respecting another person's story. You see what I'm saying? And the devil, the way the devil gets in, the easiest way the devil gets in is by using someone who is close to you. Because when the devil uses a stranger, it's not going to be as strong of attempts like when they use your family. You see where I'm going with this? Some of you guys, God has been showing you back to back, until you can't deny it no more, who has been really messing with you, who has been doing the rituals on you. And it's your family members for some of you guys. Not everyone will resonate with this. I resonate with this because I'm going through the same thing. And I told you guys in the past before that although I have a lot of enemies outside of my family, there's two main people in my family, and there's probably some more in Jamaica that have been doing stuff. There was 4 before in my family in Canada, but 2 of them fell out. 2 of them chose not to continue to try attacking me anymore. So now there's 2 more who are consistent with it, right? And I say this to say that right now, family is one of our biggest enemies, and it's sad to say that. And it talks about this in the book of Micah. I was talking to my dad about this 2 weeks ago. We were talking about the book of Micah. And the book of Micah, and although I wasn't close to my dad, like growing up like that, he's actually been trying. He's been there. Like we've been working on our relationship. And we were talking about the book of Micah. And in Micah, it talks about family turning against each other. And a lot of you guys, God has shown you people in your family who have been really trying to plot against you. And a lot of you guys are still in denial. And I want to say this, especially if you're from the islands. If you're from the islands, it doesn't really matter where you're from, because this happens all around. This happens in any country. But I know I said the islands because I know witchcraft is heavy in Jamaica. Witchcraft is heavy in Cuba, Haiti. Witchcraft is very heavy, in the Caribbean. But it's also very heavy in Africa too. You get what I'm saying? It's heavy everywhere, But a lot of you guys, God was showing me that the moon, the blood moon, the eclipse, these people, these family members that are doing things towards you, that are going to people, these practitioners are literally trying to use this moon to try to block what it is that God has for you, to try to shift what God has for you. You know what I mean? Of course it's not going to work. They can't block it. But a lot of you guys are like, okay, who's doing this to me? What's going on? And God has already shown some of you guys it's your family. Some of you guys, you don't even know it's your family. Because it's always going to be the person you least expect it to be. That's how the devil works. He will use the person you least expect it to be. You know, but all you have to do is look back. All you have to do is reflect back on your past and your life growing up, and you'll start to connect the dots as to who always been speaking ill against you, who has always put you down, who has always spoken curses upon your life, who has always spoken failures upon your life. And it's most of the times it's that very person that has been speaking failures against your life is that very person who's doing it. Because here's the thing too, it's their loss. It's their loss. Because here's the thing, a lot of them, had they been humble, had they just allowed God to bless you, had they just accepted the fact that God actually chose you, had they accepted the fact that you are successful, you're going to be successful, you're going to go further in life, had they just accepted that and just been humble and just been happy for you, God would have allowed you to bless them. Like Joseph ended up blessing his brothers at the end. Do you remember that? But because a lot of these people from your family, they don't want to accept the fact that God picked you. They don't want to accept the fact that you're breaking the ancestral covenant. They don't want to accept the fact that you're breaking generational curses. They don't want to accept the fact that you're going to be the first millionaire in your family. They don't want to accept the fact that you're going to be the one that's going to change generations to come. They don't want to accept the fact that you're going to be all that because you are the one they considered worthless. You were the one they said that was worthless, that was going to be nothing in life, that was going to be nothing, nobody. You were the one they were speaking failures upon, word curses upon. And they can't stand to be wrong. They can't stand to be wrong. You are the one they were talking about behind your back. A lot of times God allowed you guys to hear conversations. I know some of you guys have the gift to hear, and I know some of y'all experienced what I've experienced. God allowed you to hear conversations that they had behind your back. I heard conversations in spirit. God allowed me to hear conversations. I literally heard family members lie on me behind my back. Literally. Sit there and lie on me. And then when I respond, because they lied on me, I was considered the one with attitude, the bad guy. You know what I mean? And I'm telling y'all right now, you're going to have to cut ties completely. You're going to have to cut ties completely. And I'm saying this out of a place of love. And I'm saying this out of a place of truth and honesty. Because I know it's something you don't want to hear. But let me tell you something. If you know for a fact that someone in your family has been paying people to hurt you, to harm you, to block you, you have to cut ties from the person. You have to. Especially if God revealed to you that this individual or these individuals are not going to change. You have to. You have to. Because the person that's doing it, their intention is to kill you, whether you want to believe it or not. They want you out. They don't want you speaking about your childhood and how you grew up. They don't want you talking about the abuse you've endured, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They don't want you talking about all that. If you talk about the abuse that you've endured, do you know that now that you're an adult and now that you are at an age where you can defend yourself, if you talk about the abuse that you've endured and everything that was done to you behind closed doors, what is that going to do? All that's going to do is unravel the secrets that has been hidden in that box. That's all it's going to do. Unravel all the secrets. It's going to unravel the hidden personality of the individual or individuals that have been abusing you. It's going to reveal a lot to people because these individuals would do things behind closed doors and then pretend that you are the bad guy. They would call around everybody else in your family and make it seem like you're a bad child. Oh, this child did this child did that. See what they did. If you went through that as a child, this is what they did. They literally changed people's perception about you ahead of time. That's what they did. They put a bad name out about you since you were a child. So everyone that sees you as a problem child, sees you as a bad kid. And this is why others teamed up with them in treating you like a scapegoat, in treating you like a black sheep. You see what I'm saying? Because of everything they've been hearing about you, they start thinking that you're the problem. So they start participating in that mistreatment because they think you're a bad child, not realizing that a lot of the stuff that these individuals or this individual has been imprinting in people is false. And that it all resulted in abuse that you've endured emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. But they're not going to tell people that. They're not going to tell people. And that's the thing. Because they know, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. If you have gifts, do you think that God just picked you out of everyone in your family to give gifts to? Let's keep it real. No. Best believe if you have the gift to hear, you have the gift to see. Best believe so does your mom, so does your dad, so does your aunt, so does your cousin, so does others in your family have the gift. They may not have it to your extent, but they have it. They have it. Because God chose you to break that ancestral covenant, to break them curses. Right? They have gifts too, but they chose to continue specific covenants that were going on. Demonic covenants that were going on. You chose to break it. They have gifts too. So if they have gifts too, best believe they're seeing everything about your life. They've been seeing from since you were a child where God is about to take you. They've been seeing your prophecy. They saw your prophecy way before you saw your prophecy. Just like Saul saw David's prophecy before David even saw it. Saul knew David was going to be king before David even knew he was going to be king. And David looked up to Saul as a father figure, as a role model, someone he can look up to, like a mentor. Had no idea that Saul was plotting to kill him, and then when he found out, he had no idea why. And then Jonathan had to say, my dad's trying to kill you because he saw a prophecy of you being king. Your family been saw since you were a child where God is about to take you. That's why they did what they did to you, because they tried to program failure in your life at a young age. So if they mistreated you, if they abuse you, if they treat you the way they treat you, you're going to grow up with problems. You're going to grow up hating the world. You're going to grow up hating people. You're going to grow up stealing. You're going to grow up doing specific things because you lack love, because they didn't give you the love. They did all that on purpose. How do I know they did all that on purpose? Because I guarantee you guys saw other people in your family being treated like royalty. You saw other people being treated like a golden child. Did you not? So how can they treat others in your family like a golden child? You saw them treating your cousins, their nieces and nephews. Maybe if you have a brother and sister, you saw them treating other individuals good, with love. I know for a fact that happened to me. I watched my brother get a lot of stuff, clothes-wise, while I walked around in school with a hole in my shoe, my toe sticking out my shoe. So if somebody can see, if you can see that that person is capable of loving, but is just choosing not to love you, guess what that means? They're purposely choosing not to love you because they want to plant negativity in your mind, in your heart. They want to plant toxicity in your life at a young age. So when you grow up, you end up being damaged. You become a damaged human being because you had no love. We see what happens to human beings who are emotionally, mentally, and physically damaged. They grow up selling drugs. They grow up being escorts, prostitutes, strippers. They grow up robbing people. They grow up hating people. We see all that. They grow up alcoholics, on drugs. And the reason why your family did this to you is because they saw where God is going to take you, and they wanted to ensure that it doesn't happen. You see, when you look at other families that don't do this type of stuff, They show love to their children. You see how their children grow up. Their children grow up staying in school, graduating. They grow up level-headed. Do you see that? So they knew what they were doing the whole time. They knew what they were doing. It was all planned out. All planned out. But you see, now that you're an adult and you guys are catching on and you guys know what's going on now, they know you know what's going on now, because y'all don't have to talk to each other to figure things out. You guys have gifts. You see what I'm saying? They know that you know, right? And because now they know that you know, they're trying to figure out how to block you now that you're an adult and you're smart and you figured everything out. How they're thinking, okay, how could I block him or her now as an adult, because I can't do the things that I used to do when they were a child. I can't, because why? I don't have that control over their life now. They understand what narcissism is. They understand what word curses is. They understand what stagnation is. They understand what demonic spirits are. They understand what generational curses are. They're smart. They understand this stuff now. So I can't block them the way I used to try to block them. So now I have to figure out a new tactic on how to try to block them. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay people to do something spiritually to try to hold them back. That's what they've been doing. Ask the Holy Spirit. Pray to the Holy Spirit and do a fast and ask God who's been blocking you. Especially if he's already shown you've been in denial. Ask him again. Ask him again. I told y'all I was in denial for years that my family was doing stuff to me. And then you know what I had to do? I had to reflect back, because God started showing me specific dreams of me being young and some of the stuff I went through when I was young. And he allowed me to hear conversations in the dreams. He allowed me to see specific things going down in the dreams. And I'm like, nah, maybe it's the devil just trying to trick me, trying to make me turn against my family. And then a lot of the stuff that God showed me actually happened. But guess what he was showing me? He was showing me behind the scenes. The other side of everything. The other perspectives that I wasn't able to see. And then even then, after he showed me, I was still in denial. I was like, there's no way my mom is paying witch doctors in Jamaica. I'm like, she's not going to do that. But then I had to go back and I had to think about the type of stuff that she used to do. And I remember at one point, even the government system wanted me to sue her for abuse. And I didn't. That's how bad it was. Because she did so much things to me that was not supposed to be done. The system wanted me to sue her. That's how bad it was. And I didn't. I could have, but I didn't. But everybody thought I was the bad child. I was the bad kid, because that's the perception she put out there about me to people. And she did that from the beginning. So when I do try to speak my story and I do try to tell people what I've been through, nobody would believe me. She planned the whole thing from day one. And I'm telling you this because I know a lot of people are going through what I'm going through. And for some of you guys, it may not be your mom. It may be your aunt. It may be your uncle. It may be your cousin. It may be your sister, your brother. You get what I'm saying? Everyone's situation is different. But I'm letting you know, as a human being, I am going through the exact same thing. And the Holy Spirit has been showing me for years. Especially if you're someone that's been dealing with a narcissism, if you have someone in your family who's a narcissist, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep trying to pull you down. You'll know, because the person that's usually the one doing it, they never go out their way to say how much they love you, how proud of you they are. They never go out their way to say anything positive about you. They only go out their way to speak failure upon your life. That's how you'll know. Because if they spoke failure upon your life your whole life, they did that for a reason, because they tried to imprint that in you. They wanted that to manifest in your life, and it didn't. It didn't. Some of y'all have to wake up, because it's the very ones under your nose that's doing this stuff. And just because they don't have a demonic altar in their room, and they don't have candles everywhere in their room, don't mean they're not doing it. They could be paying people to do it. Narcissists are very sneaky at what they do. God showed me a vision one time, and I told you guys in a video that someone that was attacking you guys, one of you guys, the family member had a whole separate phone, paying people from a separate phone. Do you think people that do this stuff are sloppy with it? Some people are sloppy with it, but let me tell you how I know. Because one person in my family that was doing it, she admitted it. Another person admitted it without even realizing they admitted it, and then tried to backtrack on their words. Another way how I know is because, and these were like before I was in denial still after that happened, but even later on, after God confirmed everything to me, I even had some people, can't talk right now. I even had some people from Jamaica in my comment sections, coming in the comment sections from Jamaica, confirming it. Saying that what they literally, I had to delete their comments, but they literally told on themselves. Told on themselves in the comment section. So what they did, the people in my family that did this to me, what they did is they went to a lady in Jamaica that's well known for it. And then when the lady decided, I don't know if the lady couldn't do it anymore or if it wasn't strong enough, but then they had to ask a male warlock to help them. And then when I don't know what happened with the male warlock, but I just know there was a woman and a male warlock, and then one of the warlocks that was working with the male warlock came on in the YouTube comment section and basically outed themselves without even realizing they outed themselves. But I ended up deleting their comment because I'm like, you know what, I'm trying to keep my situation kind of out of what's going on, and everybody helping everybody. I'm trying to help everybody else, you know. I'm not trying to attach everything, you know. But then God told me, like, listen, when you tell your story, you're gonna help others. Not only that, but there's other people who are going through exactly what you're going through, and some of the messages, yes, they resonate with me too, you know what I mean? So, but like I was telling you guys, a lot of the reason why they do this stuff is because they don't want you outing what went on in your child. They don't want you telling your testimony, because some of you guys are supposed to write books. Some of you guys are supposed to write books, and your books are supposed to go viral. Some of you guys are going to be on TV talking about your testimony. What do you think is going to happen when you finally open up your mouth and talk about how you've been treated growing up, and the witchcraft that's been done to you, the abuse that you endure? What do you think is going to happen when you publicly talk about this stuff? Basically doing what I'm doing right now. What do you think is going to happen when you guys do it? It's basically going to reveal who the person truly is. Whether people want to believe you or not, it's literally going to decode everything. And the people that are actually doing this, they don't want to be outed. They don't want people to know that they're the ones doing it. They don't want people to know that they're into this type of stuff. They're very good at hiding it. They're very good at hiding it. I literally used to watch, because I have some narcissists in my family. I used to watch the person that abused me. I used to watch her tell me to kill myself, and then go on the phone and tell the police and the officer and the ambulance how concerned she is about me. Right after she would say that to me, and then come off the phone and say the same thing to me again. But in other people, she would pretend she was concerned. She would cry and put on this act like she was so concerned about me. But she was telling me stuff like kill myself, how much she hated me, all that growing up. When you're around people like that, you have to be very careful, because a person that can fake like that is dangerous. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. So if you want to figure out who's been doing this, if you know someone in your family is doing it and you want to figure out who's been doing it, most of the time, still confirm it with God, but most of the times it's that very person that was speaking failure upon your life from a young age. Most of the times that's what it is. And one thing that God told me, he said, it's not just for me, but for you guys too. He's been telling me this for a while. He said they're extremely jealous, because remember, you guys and me, we were supposed to be the worthless ones. We were supposed to be the bottom of the barrel in the family. Remember, that's the type of curses they spoke upon us. You ain't gonna be this, you're not. We were supposed to be that. Not technically, we're not supposed to be that, but that's what they were trying to manifest. That was their hopes. And we're not. We're not. That's what they wanted for us, but we're not that. So when they see that you're doing the opposite of everything that they spoke upon your life, it bothers them, especially if you're doing better than them. It bothers them. A lot of you guys are living the life that a lot of people in your family wish they can live. They don't know why God picked you, and it bothers them that God picked you. But it bothers them that you're the one that made it out. That you're the one that's level-headed. You're the one that's spiritually awakened. You're the one that has gifts. You're the one you're the one whose footsteps God is establishing. But that's their loss. Because had they been humble, God would have used you to bless them. But because they outed themselves by doing what they're doing to you, now you can't even bless them. Because God doesn't even want you associating yourself with them now. So now they lost out big time. They were better off just keeping their mouth closed and being fake. But guess what? God did that to reveal it to you. God allowed them to expose themselves so you don't have to worry. So you don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to suffer in the end. Because had you didn't know that they were fake, you would have been around them still while they were still doing this stuff to you. So God had to reveal them. But had they just humbled themselves and stopped, God would have blessed them through you. God would have blessed them through you. You know, so I say this to say to you guys, I know many of you guys are going through this, but I say this to say, this is your confirmation. Some of you guys, your family is extremely, extremely jealous of you. And I know it sucks. I know it's not fair because you want to be supported. You want to be supported. You want to be loved. And you're like, okay, why does it bother you so much that I'm successful? Because why? Because they tried so hard to manifest negativity in your life from a young age and it didn't work. So they're literally watching all their hard work go down the drain. That's what it is. They're literally watching in front of their eyes God blessing you. God is literally preparing a table in front of them as we speak in many of your lives. They're literally watching, and this is why they have this obsession with trying to block you, and they continue going to these witch doctors. They continue paying people to try to block you. And it's sad because the people that they're paying, most of the times they go to these people and lie to them and say, oh, do this because she did this to me, she did it to me, or he did that to me, he did that to me. And some of you guys are like, okay, but aren't the witch doctors smart enough to know they're lying? Not all the time, because witch doctors are not God. So how are they going to know everything? They're not God. You see what I'm saying? They just want the money. But some of them are actually careful. Some of them are not going to go and just hurt someone that's innocent, hurt a whole prophet. So some of them were tricked. They were tricked too. Because some of them are like, okay, this person tried to kill you. This person tried to hurt you. I'm going to try to hurt them for you. Not realizing that the person that's paying them is telling you to hurt a whole prophet or to tell you to hurt a whole child of God. And now you're putting your life in danger because you want to help someone who lied to you. Because the person that's paying them doesn't want to admit, I'm just paying to do this because I'm jealous. I'm jealous because he or she is further than where I was. Or he or she is further than I am. Because he and she is going to be blessed. They don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that. So I say this to y'all to say, listen, don't let anyone stop you from telling your testimony or from progressing, moving forward. And yes, they are doing stuff during this moon. They are. They're doing stuff during this moon. God showed me. Some of you guys, yes, it is your family. It's your family. And some of you guys are never going to, be honest, some of you guys are never going to be able to talk to them again. Not your whole family. I'm talking about the people that have been doing this. God is forbidding some of y'all to have any type of contact with them. This is why. They're very good at hiding it, and they're not going to stop. They're very good at hiding it. They can cry. They'll cry tears. They'll do all that. Pretend like they're not involved. They're not doing it, but they really are. God can see everything. Y'all can see everything. The people that are going to be hesitant about whether it's true or not are the very people that don't have the gifts you have to see the truth. They don't have a relationship with God for God to come to them and reveal it to them. But the ones that have that relationship, trust me, they see it. And some of the ones in your family, some people in your family, they see it too, but they don't want to get involved because they're scared. They don't want to get involved because they're scared, because they know they don't want to be attacked. They don't want to put their life in danger. They don't want to lose what they have going. You see what I'm saying? So they kind of just stay out of it. But I'm telling y'all right now, literally, like, we are living in the book of Micah right now. You know, some of you guys, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth. You're going to have to cut ties with some people in your family. You get what I'm saying? Because they literally will stop at nothing to see you go down. Okay, so this is confirmation for many, okay? Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.